Hello and welcome to Vertex of Abundance. My name is Priestess Gorgeous. I'll be your oracle today, and I'm going to be bringing you the new moon briefing, okay, for, well, December. The moon is new, okay, so it's the beginning of a phase, the beginning of a cycle, and it's in Sagittarius, actually conjunct the galactic center. Saturn's not that far away, Mercury wasn't that far away, etc., etc. So we're going to go ahead and get in when we fit in here. As you know, we use the Thoth Tarot. It's the official deck of the temple here. And I always break the cards into two groups, the minor and the major arcana. It's a tactic and a trick that I use for enhanced divination, okay? So, well, through cards. I mean, there's better forms of divination, but cards is an easily accessible way to access ancient technology. Okay. So we're in the Sagittarius moon. I'm going to do this moon briefing here. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, well, okay. Whew. So we're going to do this moon briefing. We have the sun. And I'm not going to be doing the lunar spreads. I'm actually going to be doing the High Priestess spread. I've augmented the High Priestess spread, so we're going to have to get back to that later. It's really the High Council spread. So we have the sun, the moon, which is funny. We have the Empress. We have Mercury as the Magician. We have what's called the Empty Vessel, the Wild Card. We have the Judgment. Judgment is a lot of 11th house activity, normally. The Strength card for conflicts, for mercy and opportunities. We have the Emperor. We have the Temperance card and the Hangman. So, you know, already 11th house, 12th house, I'm seeing. 5th house, 11th house, 12th house. So the 5th house, 11th house natively are ruled by Leo and Aquarius. That's also where the nodal axis is. So there is some shifting in the phase of the consciousness right now. Okay, and now another thing that I'm getting, I'm just picking up, okay, from the universe, okay, is, and that's the Five of Pentacles, which is Mercury in an earth sign, so Mercury in Taurus. I know a lot of people like to say that the Empress is Libra and Taurus. No, not for me. Very specifically, the Justice card is Libra, okay, and the Empress card is Taurus. Earth, on a third dimensional physical reality, is the energy of Taurus. On a divine spirituality level, it is a Capricorn. And then when you get into the energy of like the soul of the planet, Gaia as her own consciousness, as her own being, we get into the energy of Virgo. Okay, so remember I was saying, you know, 11th house activity is the Judgment card. Okay, and then 12th house activity is the Hangman. 5th house activity is the Sun. 9th house activity is the Magician. And then I have what's called succedent activity. Succedent houses are mutability. Succedent means that there's a succession plan. There is some faculty, you know, means, methodology, mechanism that will assist in evolving, maturing, spiritualizing, actualizing onto the next phase, onto the next cycle. And so the force for feelings here is self-mastery through embarking upon your willpower, literally striking your will upon the universe will bring an aha moment, will open up the door, will create what's called a judgment. So literally the thought forms here and how you manifest and stabilize the world around you will bear upon how you are judged by the universe, how we are judged by the universe. So why don't we go ahead and get into this energy here. So I'm just going to talk about some of the spiritual aspects of this next cycle here. And why don't we go ahead and get out the wee moon. We love that here at the temple until we make our own calendar. Okay. So let us see, let us see. All right, so the moon moved into Sagittarius actually on Friday the 15th, 5:07 p.m. and it's there for a minute. Okay, so it doesn't leave until way beyond the weekend. And even on Monday, it tends to stay there up until the wee hours of the morning. And during that time, there's a lot of interactions. We are squaring the heavens, as I would say, and we're also coming into contact with the thought forms, with our perfected self, with our divine light, the light alive that's on in everyone. Think of it as the creator alive in us. And just on a sense of a new moon, the new moon is the beginning of a cycle. It's where seeds are planted. Okay, and we do that for the sense of truth. And in a collective society, we're gonna want to understand who we are on a celestial level, who we are as universal citizens, not just here in the physical plane of existence, not just here in terms of, being a human, being bound by your instincts, being bound by your limited low-level, low-vibrational thinking, or even sight. The typical means, mechanisms, methodologies, the blueprints, the beliefs, the archetypes that you utilize to engage in everyday living. Sagittarius energy actually embodies the higher self, the more, really the highest echelon that humanity can get to. And it starts out in terms of beliefs and it graduates onto archetypes. What symbology do you connect, interface with Prime Source Creator, for many of us, the universe, through? And it's not about being there. It's not about you being less than, greater than. It's about the striving towards. It's not so much about the destination. In this sense, in this concept and idea, really the journey is more important than the destination. It's the striving to perfect, the striving to achieve, the striving to get to that empowers us, that awakens us, that enlightens us, that liberates us. In the center, we are having our third dimensional reality stripped in some way. That is what the Creator is bearing upon us. And we do need to leverage our resources. Remember what I say, put your heart and your soul into something. So I want to ask you about what are your drives, what are your passions, what's your burning desire, what's your, heart's ambition here. And if you're not willing to allow a little bit of disappointment, allow a little bit of, sacrifice, a little bit of surrender, and allow the universe to come through and elevate your perspective, elevate your thought forms, elevate the beliefs and the archetypes you are accessing said universe through, there's going to be some things out of alignment. It's going to feel like you're, lost at sea. I want to say it that way. Now, when I say lost at sea, you've heard me say it in other ways. You've heard me say walking around the wilderness. You've heard me say walking around wounded. Okay. So what I mean by that, give me an opportunity to explain. There are times in our life when we are bound by our thought forms and we are so comfortable in being who we are that literally when the universe comes through to elevate you, to liberate you, to enlighten you, to give you the way out of the cage, to shed some light into that dark cave that you are in, you utilize your fear, you utilize your thought form, you utilize your ego to remain the same. You don't surrender to the evolutionary process of that which is life, We incarnate here to this physical plane so that we can liberate ourselves. How do we liberate ourselves? Well, we purify our karma, therefore turning it into dharma. If we do not elevate ourselves and begin to at least interface with the processes of perceiving the universal phenomena that impacts our lives, we're not participating in our soul consciousness, at least not the evolution of it. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm not reading directly the cards here from you to you, but that's what's here. Really, the force that is bearing upon us right now is the thought form. And our ability to be divine beings in a physical dimension is what is creating the womb for these things to take effect. And yes, our reality is being stripped, but we're living here in physical life and in the physical dimension. So what happens is the thought forms, if we're not able to align with them, the lower vibration of them will strip us. It could be losing jobs, losing money. It could just not be getting help. It could be being frozen out, left behind, being unawares. Okay, now, a lot of times we're passionate about being who we are, doing what we think we should be doing. But listen, if you're governing from a place of ego, if you're governing from a place of the mind, if you're governing from a place of the left brain, you know, how you make sense of the world, how you feel in control, oftentimes you'll know if you're low vibrational, it'll be you have a large amount of disbelief. You're skeptical, you're overly rational, you need to confirm everything. You don't do what's called checking in with your intuition. You don't allow the energy in motion to reverberate around your heart center. Okay? So what happens is the instincts of the body take over, and the instincts of the body don't like rapid change, don't like ascension, don't like evolution. And so it's a challenge. It does happen. Let's talk about how this is going to look in the actual world. I've been talking about living in the third dimension here. So why don't we just get right into it? Now, I'm going to just get up for a quick second and grab some affirmation cards. I will be right back. Pardon me, I've been working, and I had to rest and then pop out this video and run some errands. So I was a little bit unprepared. I hope you forgive me. So let's just recap really quick. This cycle here is enlightenment, growth, vitality, expansion, renewal. Okay, and what's gonna happen? What we're clear about already? Yeah, we've been resting. Yeah, there's been some things lying in wait, but we needed to recover. Okay. And this aha moment is going to shift. So humanity and, again, the administration, the government, the authority, whatever the means, methodologies, mechanisms, the system, the structure, the stability that is alive for the collective in the physical. Again, administration, governments, okay, institutions. That's going to shift. Some universal perspective or consciousness is going to emerge. It's there already. However, most of us cannot see it, especially if we're operating from the ego, especially if we're operating from the lower self. So what will happen is there'll be a forced emergence of the higher self. You'll see a lot of people have spontaneous Kundalini awakenings. Some people will be getting fired. Some people will be getting broken up with. Some people will be finding long lost relatives, finding long lost friends, finding long lost lovers. All these things will be happening. And here's what's really, let me translate, okay? The universe is waking us up. All of the individual light workers have been getting the slow, gentle knock on the door. A few of us have been hearing the pounding. Okay, now the universe is going to start throwing pebbles at us, and then small rocks at us, and then a boulder is going to come down the street. Okay, so let's talk about how that process looks. The path that we're on is we need to get rid of this confusion. Again, as I keep saying, what is alive in you? What are your hopes? What are your wishes? What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? What is your heart's desires? What is your soul's ambition? You really need to get clear on it. Like, what do you burst out of bed every single day, every single morning, ready to get done? There needs to be some burning desire alive in you. If you don't have a burning desire, if the why is not big enough, the how will matter. If the why is big enough, the how does not matter. You need to get from here to there. And it ain't gonna be easy. And if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it. So you need to have that dialogue with yourself. Figure out what is alive in you and what do you need to do to light that fire so you can get from here to there. And you know what? You don't need to clearly define where there is. You need to not be addicted to staying where you are. That's what it is. Okay? So we're dealing with this Seven of Cups energy. Now, that could be many things for many different people. So now, normally, It would be being overwhelmed, having too many opportunities, but it could be having a lot of different forms of consciousness. Okay, so you've actually arrived at your soul power, but if you're not connected with the self, and if you haven't been putting your time into perfecting the self, which means stepping into alignment with your divine truth, stepping into alignment with your sense of divinity, stepping into alignment with your vision, your values for you and your life, your power on a personal level, your power on a self level, according to the dignity of your soul, you're going to be a little bit out of alignment. Remember, in the physical, we are being stripped at 5 of Pentacles. So the process, what we'll notice is that we have the 7 of Cups. Okay. So this 7 of Cups shenanigans is all about what? Well, it's that you have a lot of different things dripping at your consciousness, pulling you in this way and that way. Now, your consciousness here is on a soul level. This is Cups. So the soul is your own computer, your own little terminal, how you interface with the mainframe, the God, creator, source, whatever. Okay, and literally behind the scenes, what cannot be changed is that the gate is opening, the heart is expanding if you want to get into your, your heart center. But really, it's that we're moving into that next level, that next realm, that next dimension, that next, phase. We're leaving behind the low vibrational consciousness and we're taking a step up. Okay, so we've stepped down as far as possible in spiritual consciousness, and that's a collective thing that's been happening for, several thousand years, and that cycle is over. It's ending. It ended in 2012. But it takes a little while for the collective to know that there's a renaissance, even if the renaissance is happening in the background. Said differently, an overnight success takes about 10 years. Very rarely do you just wake up one day and walk out of your house successful. Oftentimes it might happen really quickly, but there's been a long, slow buildup. Do you hear what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, it went viral. It's at the mind of the collective. Okay, so there's things going on behind the scenes, and what is that? It's liberation. Okay, growth, expansion, renewal, vitality is coming on a spiritual level. On a spiritual level. All right. Now, how we're going to be reconciling that down here is that we do need to gain the perspective, the ability to walk through this plane of existence with the spiritual consciousness. That will be the fight. That will be the winning ticket as well. That is the battleground itself. Are you still operating under the conditioning that you're this or that you're that or things are this way? Are you still reading the science books? Are you still listening to the news? Are you still watching the TV? Okay, and are you believing what you hear, or are you thinking for yourself, checking in with your intuition? I'm not saying everything is wrong. I'm not saying your process is bad. I'm saying if you revert to your mind instead of your heart center, if you revert to your ego instead of your intuition, your authentic sense of self, then you're still out of alignment, okay? And that's why we're getting stripped here. If you don't choose to believe in a higher perspective, and a higher, more spiritual perspective, things are going to be rather difficult. You know the story of the 5 of Pentacles. You're walking around wounded, right? You're, destitution, desolation, desecration, destruction. Okay, and I'm saying those deep, deep, deep D words, which are meant to divide because it's the physical. This is a Pentacles card here. And it's Mercury. So your thought forms, your thinking, communication, intellect, rationale, judgment is going to F you up here, mess you up, especially in the upright. Now this is well dignified, so it wouldn't be in the upright, but, frankly, let me just say to you, you hear what I'm saying? So, our spirit, karma, life path, destiny, the path that we're on right now, is to purify the soul on a level of who are we on a perfected self. If whatever we perceive as an obstacle to our hopes and dreams isn't a real obstacle, if we were to ignore that for a moment or put it on the back burner, who and what would we be, what would we be doing in order to be in alignment with our authentic self, in alignment with who we really are on the inside, okay? And then carry that forward to where we're heading towards the ability to rise up, okay? So that's put your heart and soul into something. This is a person who is receptive to life moving forward-moving progress here. Now, this is a person who's going to hold on to their values, they're going to hold on to their virtues, but they're also going to look for options. They're also going to hold on to what their options are, meaning remaining empowered, remaining in alignment with who you are on a soul level, okay? Not who they told you you should be, not who they told you you needed to be, Not the little law-abiding, rule-abiding person, but the person who's going to follow the intent of the law. Not just the laws of the land, laws of humanity, but the spiritual laws, the divine laws. Okay? Instead of following things by the book, because it's time to change. The Queen of Wands is a revolutionary, and she's looking for her options. Remember what I said. What's going to be of a great support to us is that our reality is going to get stripped, and it's going to be difficult for you if you're still holding on to who you used to be. Because who you are supposed to be is emerging, and that cannot be changed. Your authentic self is opening. That cannot be changed. And, you know, don't let the good get in the way of the great is what I would tell you. Because the time for rest is ending. There is going to be some type of emergence. And an aha moment. Especially in relationships. So if you might be losing your job, you might be losing roommates, you might be losing parents, you might be losing lovers. It could be to death, it could be to ego and relationship challenges. And if I said something that scared you, you're welcome. Okay? Because really, literally, truly, genuinely, if your ego's getting triggered and you can't tap into your intuition here and you're operating from the lower self, the ego, the fear, the pain, the addiction, the dereliction, the destruction, the death, you know, you're perceiving of things happening to you, not for you, so that you can liberate yourself and move on to the next phase of consciousness, then that's a message to you. And if I scare you, that means you need to take your ego medicine or your fear medicine. It's just what it is, where it is. Okay? Now let's look at how we're doing out here in the world. So we have a moon card, a sun card, a Mars card. And then 2 Mercury cards and a Venus card. Well, you know, Venus, Moon, Saturn, that's all made of Mother Crown energy. And we do have Venus out here. We do have the Sun out here. We have Mercury on the board. So it's saying, listen, the door's going to open up to your higher consciousness, to your spiritual consciousness, but some things may be removed. And if you're not ready, you're going to feel overwhelmed, frankly. And again, I'm in a temple, part of the noise in the background. All right, so let's get into this affirmation card, and I'll talk a little bit more about it. These are new. Somebody just gifted them to me. They're called the Affirmators, the 50 affirmational cards to help you help yourself with your self-helpiness. That's cute. Let me just say that again. Affirmators, 50 affirmational cards to help you help yourself without the self-helpiness. Okay, well, let me just show this to you. Now, I love unicorns, and I shit rainbows myself, so there we go. All right, and just so you know, if you're sending a gift, a donation, or a gift or something, if there's no gift receipt in there, I can't thank you. So this came without me knowing who loved me, and that's all right. I'll still accept it, but I can't thank you. So remember what I was saying, your authentic sense of self. Authenticity is the name of the game. Whatever comes up, you will feel it. Whatever needs to be said, you will say it. Whoever doesn't get it does not have to get it, but at least you know it, okay? Because you've said it, and that is better than leaving a passive aggression note about it, aggressive note about it. I'm dealing with that right now. There's some people in my life that are just out of alignment, and it's my problem. Somehow me living my life and enjoying the things they want to be enjoying is my problem. There's something wrong with me, right? Because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And it does. It makes me passive aggressive because I feel like people hate me for not being compliant and submissive and broken and feeble. Okay, so that just means I need to upgrade my friends. That's my own story. You need to find yours. But we all got one right now. We all do. And if I were fighting and not being willing to cut a bee, then if I was unwilling to say bye Felicia, then I would be in that 5 of Pentacles energy, in that moon card energy. So what's knocking at the door is beauty. The affirmation here is, I am beautiful even when I do not think it. I am beautiful even when I do not see it. I am beautiful no matter how many people do not say it. I am beautiful. I do not care even if you know it. Okay, I am beautiful, which is why I do not have to try so hard all the time to show it. Beauty. All right? And remember, that's self-governance, self-mastery. So the foundation, the structure, the means, the mechanisms, the methodologies in which you manifest from your human self, okay, is by standing in your own truth. Remember, I am beautiful even when I do not think it. I am beautiful even when I do not see it. I am beautiful no matter how many people do not say it. I am beautiful and I do not care. Even if you know it, I am beautiful, which is why I do not have to try so hard all the time to show it. Okay, so self-governance, self-mastery means you don't need to look outside for the answer, for support or direction. You know it on your own. You ain't got to prove it to nobody. You need to go on and keep it moving, keep it popping, and handle your own business. Okay? And that's what's knocking at the door. So that's what the universe wants us to step into. And how we do that is saying, yeah, confidence, rise up. Remember what I said, put your heart and your soul into something. Whatever's alive in you. Confidence. In this moment, I can take a step back and look at myself with the pride of a good mother. Mother also is matter. It's also the womb for creation. It's also the womb for the process to happen. So even if there is no physical mother there for you, remember you can be your own mother through purifying your own aura, purifying your own energy, and allowing your space to be a womb of creation. Okay, so let me read this again. In this moment, I can take a step back and look at myself with the pride of a good mother. I see an abundance of abilities and talents that show up all the time, in big and in little ways. If I could stick myself on a refrigerator, I would. I would invite all the neighbors over to say, look at that. Can you believe what an A+ that is? So confidence, okay? Believe in yourself. It doesn't matter. Put your heart and soul into something. I would rather fail putting my heart and soul into something than succeed by being a weak little feeble cautionary tale. No, not me, not me. So what we're being asked to do is to. Some people think this is a delay. It can be if you're acting up. If you ain't in alignment with your spiritual power, and if you're not willing to look at things from a spiritual perspective, you will be delayed. You will be postponed. You will be, it won't just be a surrender. It'll be a sacrifice. So, here it's called abundance. And a lot of people don't understand that this is never a no. When you get the hangman, it doesn't mean your answer is no. It means that it's a not right now. But you need to come at it from a different perspective, frankly. So, abundance. Congratulations! It seems you are due for a little piece of the abundance pie. Feel like you do not deserve it? Knock it off already. It is already plated and ready to hit your table. Reluctant to take your new abundance? Shut your pie hole, okay? Abundance pie is big enough to serve everyone. There is no scarcity, okay? So get your whipped cream ready, unless you're lactose intolerant or whatever, and enjoy your well-deserved metaphorical dessert. So I was reading the back of that card. These can be bought at, I don't even know, knockknockstuff.com, spelled just the way it sounds. Knock, knock, like knock on the door. So, congratulations. It seems you're due for a little piece of the abundance pie. That's true. And they're talking about whipped cream and then the lactose intolerant. That's another message to the mother. White milk is the white snake. So I'm just going to put that out there because the thing about it is oftentimes we let the good get in the way of the great so that we get in our own way and we don't allow the universe to come in and serve a purpose for us. We get in our own way. We allow our ego to manage us. And we think, when they're talking about Jesus Christ or the devil or whatever, Christ is a consciousness that means you're in alignment. You're coming from a place of unconditional universal love vibration. The lower self, the devil or all that stuff, that's your stomach area on down to your genitalia. That's the ego. That's where you process fear, greed, pain, shame, all that stuff. Up here, above the heart, that's where you process those divine emotions like love, unconditional love, gratitude, abundance, all those kinds of feelings. So this is about finding the consciousness, okay? This is about finding heavenly consciousness. This card to me is the creator. So congratulations. It seems you're due for a little piece of abundance pie. And so here's where we are. Here's what we need to do. Okay. Believe in magic. Okay, magic. I believe in magic. I see evidence of it all the time. And through the trick, and though the tricks can probably be explained away by something sensible and ordinary, I would rather not ruin the fun. Other people can fill their days with mere coincidence. I will be fine with, holy crap, that is unbelievable! Exclamation point. So the message there is you can only receive magical results if you're really not only to believe in magic, but to do magic, okay? You can't be sitting there waiting on the universe to come through. The universe is always going to give you enlightenment, okay? Vitality, invigoration, renewal, expansion, growth. But you need to serve the physical processes of the universe because the universe lives through you. You were in the physical. Okay, you're not 100% in the spiritual. Okay, now out in the world, practice gratitude. Today I'm grateful for all the little things, even when the big things suck. Okay, remember what I'm saying, bigger, better, better. Okay, there's always plenty of things that I can be at least a little grateful for, like hot showers and music and the fact that humans invented an internet. Aliens did that, honey. And I am allowed to use it whenever I want. Yeah, unless you're a felon. I'm sorry. Pardon me. Using fingers and thumbs to do whatever I want. I think of what to do with them at any given moment. So this person's grateful for the internet and their fingers. I'm sorry. I just had a case where somebody isn't allowed to use the internet by conditions of the parole. I'm just gonna put that out there. So. And the devil's hiding right here under God, frankly. I'm just going to put that up. So it's just, I'm laughing because I'm hearing other things than what I'm saying, and I'll wrap it up right there. I don't need to make it a somber video because it's not. Gratitude. We're talking about gratitude here. Everything's great. Joyville. So no judgment. I'm not judging. No judgment. And gratitude. She's grateful for hot showers and the internet and her fingers. Good on you, honey. That's a way. See, that's very childish. Believing in everything. Believing that life is possible. Okay. A bigger, brighter, better future means a bigger, brighter, better outlook. For things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Okay. Now, you will spot whatever you got. So if you got some stinking thinking, what you think you're going to manifest in your life? You're going to manifest some stinking results. Ain't going to be nothing to talk about. Ain't going to be nothing exciting. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so now let's read about Joyville. Okay, I release myself from any and all forms of judgment. I find my inner critic, call it into my office, and tell it to take a vacation. As it leaves the room, I let out a sigh and begin to enjoy the joy of simply being. Who hired that guy anyways? The devil. The devil hired your judgment, honey. Okay, so these are cutesy cards. They're called the Affirmators, and they're 50 little cuteness cards. They help yourself without the self-helpiness of the whole, be motivated industry. Okay, so that's it. That's what we got for this briefing here. I just want to remind you to be authentic and to have courage. Authenticity is the name of the game. Whatever comes up, I will feel it. Whatever needs to be said, I will say it. Whoever does not get it does not have to get it, but at least they know it because I have said it. And that is way better than leaving a passive-aggressive note about it or being a passive-aggressive person about it, okay? So, there we go. Please take good care of yourself. Take very, very, very good care of yourself. Know that I love you. Know that I honor you. Know that I praise you. Thank you for the mission that you bring in this lifetime. Thank you for the medicine that you bring. Thank you for the journey that you're walking. Until we meet again, until we read again, Namaste, Dandavat, and Ashe. Have a very lovely, 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 lovely new moon in Sagittarius. Bye-bye, everyone.